I'm here with my friend Monica today, that is a professional model, and today we're going to go through the most important compositional techniques that I think every photographer should know, especially if you're new to photography. And make sure you stay to the end, because in the end we're going to get creative and we're going to break the rules. All right, let's get into it.
All the photos that you're seeing are unedited JPEG straight out of camera. And during this whole photo shoot we were using the Sony a7R5. As you can see, we have 4 intersection points, and you want to place your subject in one of those, because these points are naturally where our eyes are drawn, and this helps you to create a balance in the picture. As humans, one of the things that are very pleasing to our eyes is symmetry, and that's why I use this background. It's just the bricks and Monica. And why she really stands out in this photo is because we only have 2 focal points. One is the bricks, the wall, and the second is Monica. Which means we don't have many distractions here. It's just 2 elements that we are focusing on. And this simpleness and cleanness really helps us to focus on the subject. When you're filling the frame, you compose your shots in a way that the subject takes up a large portion. And this creates intimacy, impact, and focus, removing distractions and drawing the eye to the model. Filling the frame works really well when you want to create an emotional impact. And when you're using this technique, make sure you have a long focal length. I shot with 85, you can go 85 and above to get that bokeh, which means the blurry background. The long focal length is creating a compression, which creates even a more blurry background. And make sure your aperture is on the lowest number possible. So when taking a photograph like this, I'm using the lines to lead your eye to the model. And the lines can be straight, they can be curved, they can be diagonal, they can be vertical or horizontal. We're using the lines to guide the viewer's eye to where we want them to look. Leading lines is also creating depth and perspective. It makes the images look more three-dimensional. Low angle is used to make the subject look larger, stronger, or more dominant. And in this photo you can definitely see that she looks really large. The buildings in the background looks like a miniature, which is a really cool effect. And specifically for portraits, they convey confidence and strength. With high-angle shots, specifically in portraits, you make the person feel smaller or more vulnerable. It creates a sense of distance or detachment. Besides that, high angle makes people look really good. It reduces the appearance of double chin, it emphasizes on the eyes, and it can slim the face and the body. This technique is one of the simplest but most powerful techniques. By reducing the amount of focal points, we are creating simplicity in the photo. And it will be easier to guide the viewer's eye to the subject. For example, here you can see she's sitting on the wooden floor, that's one focal point. She's the second focal point. We have the nature and the lake in the background, that's 3 and 4 focal points. And this is not too distracting, she pops out. We don't want the image to be cluttered. An even better example of a photo is the one we use for the symmetry composition. Here you can see we only have 2 focal points, which makes it really easy to focus on the subject. Complementary colors are pairs of colors that sit opposite to each other on the color wheel. And one of the most used complementary colors are teal and orange, which we are using here. I saw this beautiful blue sofa and the orange lamp. So this photo is not edited. What I would do is to enhance the blue of the sofa and also the teal and the blue of the whole background, which creates this complementary color effect. Because her skin has this orange warm tone, and it will work really good with the blue sofa and bring even more blue to the background. When should you use silhouettes? You should use them if you want to create a drama or a mood, like very emotional, very mysterious or romantic. You're really focusing on shape and form. And the shape and form here in this photo you can see it's the window with the lines and also the lines of Monica. So in a silhouette the background is brighter and often more colorful, and this works really well whenever you have a sunrise or sunset. The subject is always underexposed and the light source is behind the subject. And I know that these photos has nothing to do with the silhouette, but I had to take them because I thought it just looked so beautiful. And this is just natural light that we're using from the window. Using the foreground is one of my favorite techniques to create depth in a photo and also to create a three-dimensional photo. So to start with, what is the foreground? The foreground is the part of the scene that is closest to the camera, what's in front of you. So in this case, the book and the table is the foreground, and Monica is the middle ground, and the plant is the background. And frame in a frame creates depth and layers in the frame. Here you can see that I'm shooting through a glass, which creates a frame within a frame. By adding depth and layers, you're creating more interest to this photo. And it just makes it more visually pleasing to look at. The focus really goes to the subject. This also creates a kind of intimacy, mystery. Here's another way you can use the frame-in-frame composition technique by using a mirror. So here's another way to use it. We use the curtains to create a frame within a frame. So converting your photo to black and white is really good when you want to focus on the form, the texture, the patterns and the tones. I chose to take the black and white photo in the staircase because it had a lot of form and details to it. Center focus means positioning your subject right in the middle of your image. I mean, it's a lot of things going on in this photo. You can see we have the leading lines, we have the framing in a frame. So negative space is the area where the subject is not present. This is actually not the best example of a negative space photo because we want whatever the negative space is to be uncluttered. For example, you can see that we have the table and the chairs there. We can remove that. I would remove that in Photoshop to create an even cleaner negative space. And this is a wonderful technique to use of many reasons. But one of the reasons if you're working with commercial work is that we can use the negative space to add a text. When you're taking photos with a lot of negative space, choose backgrounds that are simple, like sky, water, sands, or walls. So I had to break the rules when I took this photo, because I really wanted the sun flare to be there. And I couldn't manage to put the camera in a way where I got the sun flare and having her in the rule of thirds. And I chose having the sun flare instead of having her perfectly in one of the 4 intersections of rule of thirds. Same with this photo. I thought it looked not boring, it's a beautiful photo, but I just want to do something else with it, so I rotated it, which is breaking the rules. But we came a little bit closer, it gave a completely different look, which I love.
Alright, that was it for this time. If you like this kind of content, please do subscribe, it helps the channel to grow. See you next time. Good work. Bye.